For me, speech and debate isn't about trophies. And I've been coaching now for, gosh, I have to think about this. Let's see, 15 years. So 15 years of coaching competitive teams through. And frankly, at the particular point in society that we're at, with the proliferation of things like fake news and disinformation campaigns that just have turned social media into the cesspool that it currently is, I can't think of a more important skill than being able to make evaluative judgments about the efficacy of the information that we see, that it's able to teach them not just to present their own thoughts, but to evaluate the world in which they live and understand the way that arguments are constructed so that they can tear down the arguments of others and evaluate them for themselves.
Coronavirus.
The World Health Organization says the coronavirus outbreak is now officially a pandemic.
The first time that I really started to hear about COVID was through speech and debate, oddly enough, where I started to think alarm bells in my head that this might become global pandemic was helping debaters prep. And as we started to see topics on this, and it became clear from the news we were seeing around the globe that this was probably going to reach the US and what was probably going to be problematic for us. And then our season continued as normal, and we went to our regional tournament, would have been in January. And as it would turn out, that was one of our final tournaments. Our team only made it to one more tournament after that in February. And then it became clear after our national was scheduled, we should have been traveling at the beginning of March to San Diego, that was not going to happen.
So I was really devastated about PICAP because Sarah and I were doing really well. We were doing so well. And I felt like we had a really strong opportunity to win the JV title. Yeah, so that was, again, like a really devastating thing. And then also just losing that opportunity to go to PICAP. I was really looking to get really competitive with debate, and it looked like that was going to be my opportunity. And so I was really upset because I, not only was I dealing with being a student in a pandemic, and the stress that my family was holding, the stress that I was holding, the one thing I had to look forward to was kind of gone.
When we had shut down for really 2 weeks, it wasn't a surprise. I think now that we're in November, virtual tournaments are running a lot more smoothly than I think anybody could have ever anticipated. And if this is something that we have to continue doing next year, then I think that's absolutely a sacrifice that the team can make. Debate events are always conducted live because it requires the active engagement and involvement of more than one person. But for some speech events, they've actually become asynchronous, which I think, is a lot different than anything else that we've ever seen as a community. Because somebody can practice their speeches over and over again and then record the best one, and then submit that entry to, as many tournaments that will take that entry. So I think that's kind of the first really big way that our season has changed. And then the second way is that we've had to reduce the number of tournaments. So we've actually been participating in fewer tournaments this semester as a team. But with that in mind, the full qualification levels haven't changed. So just because everything is virtual, I think it's important to note that the requirements to do well in this aren't getting easier. So it's not like circuits are reducing their rules or are making exceptions. You are still required to do the same amount of work that you would be if you were competing in person.
Because if you have a good team environment before you go in to compete and you feel like your team is behind you, you're going to do better. Mm-hmm. And also, it makes tournaments really fun to go to. Because yeah, I'm competing, but I'm also getting to spend those nights together in hotel rooms with all of you guys playing card games and doing things, joking around, dancing, doing whatever silly things that we do. Obviously I'm still competing because I'm doing debate, but it's not as fun. I enjoy debate and I enjoy that I get to do it. That's why I'm still doing it. Mm-hmm. But it's not super fun because I'm not having those experiences with you guys. Ryan falling asleep, and then us throwing pens at his face until he woke up. We don't have those things.
miss the team. I miss being in the van with the team. I miss the laughter of it. I miss just the camaraderie and that team atmosphere. I even miss the vocal warm-ups. We do those before every tournament, before we start competition in the morning, because usually it's very early, and so we get up and everybody's a little bit tired before that first round, so we'll usually engage in some vocal warm-ups, and it's just a little team building atmosphere, and I miss those kind of moments. So many good memories of the team. Some of my best memories with the team, of course, I love seeing y'all win. Like, watching y'all win just rewards the work that you put in. But my favorite memories come from other things. I love seeing people, make that first finals break, those kinds of things, and competitive success. But my favorite memories honestly come from some of the team time that's spent together. And so the times that I tend to remember the best are team meals that we spend together, even when that involves midnight fast food where we're starving and haven't eaten in 15 hours, and we're all enacting like a bunch of raccoons in the trash and devouring fast food, and everybody's in suits like raccoons around a trash can, all in suits devouring fast food chicken. Happens every tournament. And some of those, when you look back at them and laugh, they're some of the best memories.
It absolutely breaks my heart that forensics programs are shutting down. Like, it tears my heart, because that things like Ranger College, that those programs are being lost. Forensics has a deep intrinsic value for the people who compete. It teaches you life skills beyond, I would say, arguably any other program. It teaches a lot of life skills. It teaches, respectful argumentation. It teaches you how to dress. It prepares you for job interviews. It prepares you for professional school. It prepares you for rigor. It prepares you for so many things. Beyond maybe even some other sports might be able to do. So it breaks my heart that people are losing that aspect.
Nobody could ever, we couldn't even predict what would have happened in March. Things are changing so quickly and so constantly. Right now during the pandemic, it seems like the whole nation is in this state of very heightened uncertainty.
I've been at this a long time, and I've seen a lot of change happen in the forensics world. But this is something different. This is something we've never dealt with. As a community, I don't know that we've ever dealt with something on this scale. We're certainly adapting as we go, but going forward, it's hard to say what this is going to do. I have concerns as we see teams disappear and we see programs shrinking. That gives me, honestly, probably the greatest pause about what's going to happen going forward. And so my hope is that going forward, as budgets start to increase again, which hopefully they will, I know we're in for some rough years, that those programs really start to revive and to revamp. But I think we're going to see some small years.
And I do fear for TCU's forensics, because like I said, we're not football, we're not basketball, we don't bring in, lots and lots of money for the school. So it would be very easy for them to decide to diminish us, if the budget got tight, and that would tear me apart, because like I said, at some of the toughest times in my life, last year when I was struggling with my health, I was struggling with my roommate, I was struggling with my family, I was struggling with my academics. I had the team, I had Wing Wednesdays with you guys, I had practice, I had something that was normal and consistent, and I had Amorette in my corner, who was Amorette and Chris, who were always there for me. And it's so much more than just competing. It's a community, and it's a family, and it's something that I feel so deeply about.